Hello there, my dear friend. Let's begin our visit together just as the day begins, with that quiet hush that wraps around the garden before the world fully wakes. Maybe you're holding a warm cup of tea, maybe coffee, maybe just the stillness of morning air. You step outside onto your porch and take it all in. The light falling gently through the leaves, the breeze brushing your cheek, and the familiar sound of birds announcing the day. You look around and perhaps wonder, could this space feel a little more you, not fancier, not trendier, but more magical, more peaceful, more joyful. Now, if you've ever stopped short because of the price tags at garden centers, or if the lifting, digging, and hauling feels a little beyond what your hands want to do today, please know this: you don't need money or youth to create beauty. All you need is a little imagination and maybe a stroll through Dollar Tree. Yes, that humble aisle of plastic bins and ribbon spools of baskets and solar lights, it holds a kind of quiet magic. Today, we're going to unlock that magic together. You and I will explore over 30 ideas, simple, affordable, elegant things you can do with your own two hands to make your porch or patio feel like a sanctuary. Each project is gentle on the body, kind to the wallet, and rich in creativity. And perhaps most importantly, they remind us that we're still growing, still blooming, still capable of making beautiful things with love and care. So let's begin, shall we? Take a sip, settle in, and imagine the possibilities. Your porch is about to tell a new story, one written by you. Remember those old tiered dessert trays from Sunday potlucks? The ones that looked so elegant, yet were so practical, holding cookies, sandwiches, little slices of pie. Well, today, we're using that same idea for flowers. Dollar Tree's stackable planters, those clever triangular sections, are the secret ingredient to building your very own vertical garden tower. At just $1.25 each, they click together like a dream, forming a blooming sculpture that rises to meet your gaze without asking you to bend or kneel. Here's how to do it. Gather 3 or more stackable planters. Drill a small hole through the center of each one, don't worry. It's just soft plastic, and thread them through a sturdy rod, like an old broomstick or curtain rod you're no longer using. Anchor the rod in a planter base filled with stones or soil. Then fill each tier with trailing petunias, ivy, or even herbs like thyme and oregano that gently spill over the edges. You now have a vertical garden that sings with color and scent right at waist height. Easy to water, easy to prune, easy to love. What's beautiful about this idea is that it turns something so ordinary into something graceful. It gives height to small spaces and dignity to small budgets. You can place it beside your front steps, by the back door, or even indoors near a sunny window. And here's the loveliest part. Every bloom that opens feels like a little note of encouragement. Still blooming, they whisper. Still useful, still growing, just like you, dear friend, just like me. Have you ever gone away for a few days, maybe to visit your children or spend time with dear friends, and come home only to find your flowers looking weary and wilted? It's a small heartbreak for any plant lover. But what if you could have a garden that gently takes care of itself while you're out living life? Enter the Dollar Tree self-watering planters. Yes, truly, these little miracles cost just $5, but the peace of mind they offer is priceless. Each one has a hidden reservoir at the bottom. When you water, the plant excess moisture seeps down and stores itself like a quiet helper waiting for your flowers to get thirsty again. As the soil dries, the planter draws that water back up through the roots, keeping your blooms happy for days on end. To get started, just pick your favorite annuals or herbs, geraniums, marigolds, basil, even cherry tomatoes. Fill the top chamber with soil and plant them as usual. Then fill the bottom reservoir through the small spout or side opening and let nature and gravity do the rest. You can even place a few of these planters on a waist-height bench or a repurposed wooden shelf to keep everything at arm's reach. No heavy lifting, no daily watering. Now imagine stepping out onto your porch after a long weekend away. The sun is shining, the air smells of summer, and there waiting for you are your flowers, fresh-faced, bright and blooming, just as if you'd never left. That's the magic of quiet care, the kind that happens in the background, the kind that says, "I've got you covered." Isn't it lovely when something so simple can bring so much grace to your days? Do you remember catching fireflies as a child? The way their tiny lights danced between your fingers and lit up the warm dusk like living stars. There was something enchanting about holding that kind of magic in your hands. Well, with just a few simple pieces from Dollar Tree, you can recreate that feeling, no chasing required. Start with a mason jar. You'll find them in the kitchen aisle or the crafting section, simple and waiting to be transformed. Add a handful of river rocks or decorative pebbles to the bottom. This gives it weight and a grounded feel. Then take a strand of battery-operated fairy lights and coil them gently inside. Twist the lid closed or leave it open for a softer glow. Just like that, you've made a lantern. A soft, glowing jar of light that brings warmth to your evenings. Now picture this, a line of these little jars, sitting on your porch railing tucked among potted flowers, or hanging from simple shepherd's hooks. When twilight falls and the air cools, they begin to twinkle one by one, like stars that have wandered down to visit your garden. You can even tie a ribbon around the top or add pressed flowers to the outside with Mod Podge for a personal touch. If you'd like a seasonal twist, change the ribbon colors or tuck in tiny artificial leaves, flowers, or snowflakes depending on the time of year. It's not about the light, really. It's about the feeling the light brings. Because in the quiet hush of evening, when everything slows down and the world feels just a little softer, those gentle glows remind us of something beautiful, that peace can be handmade, that joy can be simple, and that the smallest things often bring the biggest smiles. Do you remember those old department stores where everything elegant stood just out of reach, perched on delicate stands and polished shelves? There was something about height, about lifting something up, that made it feel special, almost sacred. Well, today we're doing just that for your plants without the fancy price tag. With 2 simple wire wastebaskets from Dollar Tree, a bit of nautical rope, and a painted pizza pan, you can create an elegant plant stand that looks like it stepped out of a garden boutique. Here's how. First, flip both wire baskets upside down and secure them bottom to bottom with strong glue or zip ties. Already you've created a beautiful hourglass shape. Next, wrap the entire structure with thick nautical rope, securing it as you go with hot glue. This softens the metal lines and adds that cozy coastal texture. Now for the magic touch. Take a Dollar Tree pizza pan, paint it any color you like. Sage green, matte, black, even brushed gold, and glue it firmly on top. This becomes your tabletop, sturdy enough for a pot of flowers or a lantern. Set it next to your favorite porch chair or place it between 2 rockers for a sweet little table. Use it to elevate a potted fern or display a collection of seashells and stones you've gathered over the years. What you've created isn't just a plant stand, it's a pedestal of intention. A small stage where something dear can be seen, appreciated, and admired. And maybe in building it, you'll be reminded that you too are still worthy of being lifted, of being seen, of standing tall and proud no matter the years that have passed. Sometimes beauty isn't found in what we place on the pedestal, but in the hands that built it. Let me share a little secret passed between seasoned gardeners, those bright, squishy pool noodles you see every summer. They might just be the most helpful garden trick you've never tried. Think of those large planters that sit on the porch or patio. The ones that look beautiful, overflowing with flowers, but take a back-breaking amount of soil to fill. Not only do they get heavy, but the bottom soil often stays soggy, unused, and wasteful. Enter the humble pool noodle. Just slice one up into sections about 4 to 6 inches long. Then layer them into the bottom of your planter before adding soil. These colorful little cylinders create air pockets that help with drainage and lift the soil bed higher so your plants sit closer to the top. That means less soil, less weight, and much easier lifting or repositioning when inspiration strikes. It's such a gentle fix. No hammering, no bending over a wheelbarrow. Just a few snips with scissors and a simple stacking method. And when the plants go in your cheerful petunias, trailing sweet potato vines, maybe even a geranium or 2, they sit higher, prouder, fuller. Your planter looks lush and abundant. And no one would ever guess there are pool noodles hiding underneath. Best of all, your back and knees will thank you. Because in this season of life, we don't need to prove our strength. We just need to garden smarter with tenderness and care for our bodies. So next time you pass that aisle of colorful noodles at Dollar Tree, smile to yourself. You've discovered a little piece of garden wisdom disguised as summer fun. And isn't that the heart of creativity, finding beauty and usefulness where others only see toys? Once upon a time, lanterns were a source of warmth and light carried gently through dark hallways placed on porches to welcome guests, or hung beside doorways as a sign of home. Today, we're bringing that same gentle glow to your garden, using nothing more than a few simple picture frames from Dollar Tree. Here's how this charming transformation begins. Pick up 4 matching photo frames any size you like, but 5x7 or 8x10 works beautifully. Remove the glass and backing, leaving just the empty wooden or plastic frames. Then attach them together at the sides. To create a box, use small hinges if you want it to fold, or just hot glue or strong tape for a fixed cube. Place a battery-operated candle fairy lights or an LED lantern inside. You've just created a farmhouse-style lantern that costs under $6 but looks like something from a high-end home catalog. You can leave it open for a breezy summer feel or decorate it seasonally. Try burlap behind the frames for fall, plaid flannel for winter, pastel paper for spring. Or keep it simple and let the light shine freely through the open frames. Now imagine several of these beauties lining your porch stairs or tucked between your flower pots. As the evening settles in, they begin to glow softly, casting long, gentle shadows across your porch floor. It's like a private light show just for you. What I love most is that it takes something we often overlook, a frame meant to hold other people's memories, and turns it into a frame for your own peaceful moments. A light that glows not just with bulbs, but with care, effort, and the joy of making something by hand. Because your light still matters, dear friend. And when you share that light on your porch or in your heart, it warms the world in ways you might never know. Do you remember the old whiskey barrels tucked behind barns or resting beside weathered garden gates? They carried with them a sense of history, stories soaked into the wood-rounded edges worn smooth by time. Well, you don't need a barn or a barrel of your own to bring that timeless charm to your garden. Dollar Tree's Faux whiskey barrel planters capture that rustic look in a lightweight, budget-friendly way. No heavy lifting, no splinters, and no waiting years for patina to appear. They're ready for beauty the moment you unwrap them. Set one by your front steps, beside a porch swing, or even clustered in threes at varying heights to create a layered, lived-in feel. Fill them with trailing ivy, cheerful petunias, or even a compact kitchen herb garden. Their warm, wood-like texture gives every arrangement a touch of country elegance, like something pulled from a vintage garden magazine. And here's the trick: group them in odd numbers. 1 small, 1 medium, 1 large. It creates the kind of visual story that feels like it's been there forever, even if you just planted it yesterday. The weathered barrel look also complements every season. Come fall, you can tuck in pumpkins and dried grasses. In winter, evergreen boughs and pine cones. And all year round, they quietly whisper that your garden isn't just for show, it's a place with soul. Because when we surround ourselves with pieces that look like they have a story, it reminds us of our own. We've aged beautifully. We carry memories in our lines and warmth in our curves. And just like those barrels, we're still useful, still grounding, still filled with life and beauty to give. There's something magical about a garden that glows after sunset. Not the bright floodlights of the modern world, but the soft golden light that quietly says, "Come linger a little longer." Now imagine if you could raise those garden lights up so you don't have to bend to place them or squint to see where they are. And all it takes is a broom handle from Dollar Tree. Yes, a broom handle. Take a few of those classic solar garden lights. They're easy to find in the spring and summer months. Instead of planting them low in the dirt where they often get lost among the leaves, simply insert each solar stake into the hollow end of a Dollar Tree broom handle. You may need to trim the stake slightly or secure it with a dab of hot glue, but the fit is surprisingly simple. Suddenly, you've extended the light, raised it up to waist or chest height where it can cast a wider, gentler glow across your walkway or patio. Line a few along your porch railing, place them in pots, or even position them at the corners of your steps to guide the way. The effect, pure elegance. They look thoughtfully designed, like part of an intentional landscape, not just stuck in the ground as an afterthought. And they're safer too. No more fumbling in the dark or bending low to adjust. This little trick reminds me of something I've learned with age. Sometimes we just need a bit of lift, a gentle boost, a new way of seeing an old solution. Because with just a broomstick and a bit of light, you've created something not only functional, but quietly beautiful. And isn't that what we're all doing in this season of life? Taking what we already have and raising it into something glowing. Have you ever looked up through the branches of a tree at night and imagined the stars were hanging just for you? That quiet wonder, that sense of suspended magic in the air. That's exactly what today's idea brings to your garden. With just 2 wire-hanging planters and a strand of fairy lights, you can create your very own glowing garden orbs, ethereal twinkling spheres that seem to float mid-air like your own personal constellation. Here's how it works. Take 2 wire-hanging baskets from Dollar Tree. Remove the chains and flip one over onto the other so they form a perfect globe. Use zip ties or floral wire to secure them together. Then weave a strand of battery-operated fairy lights around the outer wire structure. Let the lights dance between the spaces. You can tuck in bits of faux greenery or trailing ivy for texture, or leave them simple and sculptural. Suspend your glowing orb from a porch ceiling hook, a pergola beam, or even a sturdy tree branch. As evening falls, these lanterns come to life, swaying gently in the summer breeze, casting rippling shadows and soft glimmers all around your porch. They don't just light your garden. They set a mood. They say this space is sacred. They say come rest here. They say magic doesn't have to be loud. It can glow softly and still change everything. Create a few in different sizes and hang them at staggered heights for a dreamy canopy effect. Use warm white lights for a classic glow or soft pastels for a touch of whimsy. You've taken simple wire and light and turned it into something enchanting. And in doing so, you've reminded us that the best kind of beauty is the kind we create ourselves. Sometimes all it takes to see the magic in something is to turn it upside down. That's the secret behind this whimsical and wonderfully simple idea. If you have a few basic terracotta-style pots lying around, or if you pick up a few from Dollar Tree, you're halfway to creating some of the most delightful garden lights your porch has ever seen. Here's what you do. Take those pots and flip them upside down. Yes, really. Turn them on their heads so the wide opening faces the ground. Then take a solar stake light and insert it right through the drainage hole in the center. The light stem will hold it upright and the pot becomes a charming pedestal. You can paint the pots to match your outdoor decor, soft sage green, creamy white, or terracotta orange. Or leave them raw for that natural earthy look that only clay can give. Cluster a few along a walkway, place them at the corners of your porch, or dot them through your garden beds. By day, they look like oversized garden mushrooms, playful and sculptural. By night, they become softly glowing beacons of warmth and welcome. It's a project that requires no hammer, no digging, and no heavy lifting, just a new way of looking at something ordinary. And isn't that one of the quiet gifts of growing older, to know that things aren't always best when they're right side up? That beauty often comes from a change in perspective. So flip that pot plant, that light, and let your garden shine in a way that's gentle, clever, and uniquely yours. Because the world doesn't need perfect. It just needs more light. And friend, you're very good at making things glow. There's something ancient and comforting about gathering around a fire. Even a small flame can draw people together, inviting stories, laughter, and quiet reflection under the evening sky. With just a few simple pieces from Dollar Tree, you can create your very own tabletop fire feature, a cozy fireball that flickers gently and adds warmth to your porch, both in temperature and in spirit. Start with a large metal bowl or planter. Line the bottom with 2 bags of river rocks for both weight and natural beauty. Then add a layer of sand in the center to anchor your flame safely. Nestle in 3 Dollar Tree tiki torch-style candles, spacing them like a triangle. When you light them, something beautiful happens. The flames dance gently above the smooth river stones. The rocks glow softly, reflecting the light like sun-warmed earth. It's not a roaring bonfire, it's a peaceful beacon. The kind that whispers rather than shouts. Place your fireball feature on a small outdoor table, or let it become the centerpiece of a late summer gathering. It's perfect for cooler evenings when you want to extend porch time just a little longer. It keeps hands warm and hearts even warmer. And here's the best part, it looks like something that cost over $50 at a fancy home store. But you created it with your own hands for under $10. There's pride in that. Not flashy pride, but quiet satisfaction. The kind that says, I still know how to make something lovely. The kind that grows deeper with every season. So let the flames flicker. Let the rocks hold their heat. Let the night linger a little longer around something you made. Because sometimes, dear friend, a tiny fire is all it takes to keep the evening glowing with light, with memory, and with love. Do you remember building block towers with your children or grandchildren? The careful stacking, the quiet concentration, the joy when it all stood tall without falling. There's something wonderfully meditative about building with intention. And today, we're using that feeling to craft elegant garden lanterns out of the simplest of materials, wooden Jenga-style blocks from Dollar Tree. These blocks sold as tumbling tower games are about to become something truly special. Start by stacking the wooden blocks into shapes, cubes, rectangles, spirals, or even little pyramids. Leave small gaps between some of the pieces so light can escape through the openings. Use a bit of wood glue or strong adhesive to hold them in place as you build. Then place a battery-operated tea light or LED candle in the center or behind your wooden sculpture. As the light flickers, it casts beautiful patterns through the tiny gaps, geometric shadows that dance softly across your porch floor or tabletop. What you've made isn't just a light. It's a piece of modern garden art. You can leave the wood natural for a rustic look or stain it darker for a more refined finish. Paint it white for farmhouse charm or soft pastels for a springtime feel. Each piece becomes uniquely yours. Make several in varying shapes and sizes for a lantern village feel clustered together on a bench or corner table. They're easy to store, easy to rearrange, and endlessly customizable. But more than that, they're deeply satisfying to build. Block by block, you're creating something both useful and beautiful. You're shaping light with your hands. That's no small thing. And perhaps as you stack each piece, you'll feel a quiet reminder. Even now, you're still building, still creating, still capable of turning small things into something extraordinary. Have you ever saved a shopping bag because it was just too pretty to toss? Maybe one with red, white, and blue, or a sunflower print that reminded you of a summer afternoon. Well, today, those charming reusable bags get a second life as porch perfect planters. Yes, even a seasonal tote from Dollar Tree can become a stunning, cheerful floral display with just a few gentle touches. Start with your favorite decorative bag. Patriotic for the 4th of July, floral for summer, plaid for autumn. Line the inside with a plastic trash bag or recycled grocery sack to make it watertight. Then tuck in a block of floral foam for artificial arrangements or a small plastic container with soil if you're planting real flowers. Add faux blooms, small American flags, or decorative picks to match the season. Think red and white petunias, blue cornflowers, or silver star decorations for a festive 4th. You can even nestle in miniature pinwheels to catch the breeze and bring movement to the display. These planters are lightweight, easy to move, and surprisingly sturdy. Set one by your front door, hang it from a porch hook, or place several on your steps for a layered, eye-catching arrangement. And the best part. When the season changes, simply swap the bag and start again. Store them flat in a drawer or basket ready for the next celebration. It's such a gentle, joyful way to refresh your porch, no lifting, no planting required. Just a little arranging, a little smiling, and a lot of heart. Because even something as humble as a dollar store bag can bloom with meaning when you fill it with care. It reminds us that we don't need expensive tools to decorate a space, we just need eyes that see possibility. And your eyes, dear friend, have always been good at finding the hidden beauty in everyday things. Do you remember telling bedtime stories to little ones of secret forests, tiny fairies and magical creatures that live just out of sight? There's something about miniature worlds that still tugs at the heart no matter our age. Today, we bring that enchantment to your garden with a fairy village you can create right on your porch using Dollar Tree treasures and a pinch of imagination. Start with a large planter or shallow basin as your base. Layer it with potting soil or moss to create a soft, natural ground. Then gather Dollar Tree fairy garden pieces, tiny cottages, park benches, toadstools, and cheerful little gnomes. Nestle them gently into your miniature landscape. Add smooth pebbles for winding paths. Use a small mirror as a pond. Tuck in artificial succulents, bits of bark, and pieces of driftwood for texture and whimsy. You can even include tiny tea party scenes or woodland animal figurines hiding behind tufts of moss. If you're feeling playful, invite your grandchildren to help. Their wonder will guide your hands as you build together. But this isn't just a project for children, it's a quiet celebration of the creative spirit in all of us. For evening magic, tuck in a strand of battery-operated fairy lights among the greenery. When night falls, your fairy garden glows like a storybook brought to life, drawing the eye, stirring the heart, inviting gentle smiles. And here's what I love most: you can change the scene with the seasons. A winter snow village, a spring garden tea, a fall harvest gathering. It becomes a living, breathing story corner for your porch. Because sometimes we don't need a whole backyard to feel wonder. Sometimes just a few inches of moss and a spark of imagination are enough. After all, who says the child in us ever truly disappears? Sometimes she's just waiting for a tiny door and a patch of sunlight to come back out and play. Have you ever noticed how sharing food outdoors turns even a simple snack into something special? The soft clink of plates, the laughter of loved ones, the breeze brushing over a little bowl of olives or cheese. It's the kind of simple luxury that feels like a celebration. And with a few clever pieces from Dollar Tree, you can create an elegant charcuterie serving station for your porch that feels just as delightful as anything from a magazine without the magazine prices. Here's how to begin. Gather clear glass plates, small bowls, and a few serving utensils. Use overturned bowls or ramekins as risers to elevate some of the items, creating visual height and easy access. This simple layering trick makes your spread look abundant and intentional. Next, add labels. Dollar Tree often carries tiny chalkboard signs or adhesive tags, perfect for naming your cheeses, jams, or spreads. A soft wedge of brie, a pile of strawberries, a handful of crackers all feel more refined when thoughtfully arranged and gently labeled. The key isn't quantity, it's presentation. Choose 3 or 4 items you love and give each one its own little moment. A dish of almonds, a bowl of sliced cucumbers, even a tiny glass of lemonade with floating mint leaves becomes part of the experience. And when you're done, everything nests neatly together. Stack the plates, tuck the signs in a basket, and your setup takes up almost no space. But the feeling you've created, it lingers. Because beauty doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It just needs attention, care, a touch of elevation, both literal and emotional. So, whether you're entertaining friends, family, or simply treating yourself to a peaceful afternoon snack, remember this: you deserve small luxuries. You deserve slow, joyful moments. You deserve a table that says, "Welcome. Stay a while." And that table, you made it. There's a quiet sophistication in symmetry, 2 matching planters flanking a doorway, each holding something round, full, and perfectly shaped. Topiaries have long been symbols of classic garden beauty, but they usually come with a hefty price tag and require more trimming than many of us care to do these days. Thankfully, Dollar Tree gives us a way to enjoy that same elegance without the fuss, with faux boxwood balls and rustic planters that come together like they were made for each other. Start by choosing one of Dollar Tree's whiskey barrel planters, or any wide, low container you like. Then grab a faux topiary ball available at craft stores or online if you don't find them locally. Anchor the ball into the pot, using floral foam or a short wooden dowel through the center. For extra support, add a little hot glue or pebbles around the base to hold everything steady. To finish it off, cover the exposed foam with moss bark chips or decorative stones. That final layer creates the illusion that your topiary has been lovingly growing there for years. Place a pair on either side of your front door, or group different heights together near your porch steps for a layered, stately look. No trimming, no watering, just a graceful green form that always looks its best, rain or shine. And here's the real beauty: they last year-round. In summer, they echo the lushness of your garden. In winter, they remain vibrant when everything else fades. You can even decorate them with ribbon fairy lights or tiny seasonal accents, just a touch to reflect the time of year. This is more than decor. It's a statement of care, a sign that someone lives here who sees the value in bringing beauty to their doorstep quietly, simply, and with love. And that someone, dear friend, is you. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this: a warm breeze drifting through your porch, carrying with it the soft, gentle chime of metal spoons tapping together like a lullaby only the garden can hear. There's something timeless about wind chimes. They don't just sound beautiful, they feel like the voice of the wind itself, turning your porch into a place of calm rhythm and memory. With just a handful of Dollar Tree items, you can create your very own spoon wind chime, a piece of garden music that's part craft, part keepsake. Start by gathering metal spoons. You'll often find them in multi-packs at Dollar Tree. Some colorful beads and strong string or twine. Use a nail and hammer to gently punch a hole through the handles of the spoons. Or if that feels tricky, glue a loop of twine to the back with strong adhesive. Thread your beads and spoons onto varying lengths of string, tying them securely. Then hang them from an embroidery hoop, a wire wreath form, or even a painted stick or branch for a rustic look. Space them so that when the wind blows, they gently tap and tinkle, creating a melody all your own. You can paint the spoons in soft pastels, coastal blues, or warm metallics. Or leave them silver and let them catch the sunlight like tiny mirrors. Add beads in your favorite colors, and you've made not just a decoration, but a reflection of your own rhythm. Hang your wind chime near your favorite sitting spot, and let its music accompany your morning tea or your evening prayers. It will turn every breeze into a quiet reminder that life moves, that time passes, and that beauty can be found in the spaces in between. And isn't that what aging gracefully is all about? Still singing, still shining, still moving gently with the wind. Have you ever set out to repot a little plant or trim a few herbs, only to find yourself making 3 trips back inside for gloves, pruners, or that one missing trowel? It's the smallest things that slow us down, but with a little planning and some Dollar Tree magic, even the tiniest tools can find a home right where you need them most. Let's create a porch-side garden tool organizer, a gentle way to keep everything within reach, so you can spend less time searching and more time enjoying your plants. Start with a simple piece of wood, or even a repurposed plastic tray as your base. Paint it in a cheerful color, or leave it natural for a rustic look. Then add adhesive hooks or screw-in cup hooks, all available at Dollar Tree. Hang lightweight tools like hand trowels, scissors, gloves, or a soft brush for tidying up containers. Next, attach a few small buckets or recycled tin cans. These can hold seed packets, plant labels, twist ties, or even a folded hand towel. For metal tools like pruning shears, consider a magnetic strip. It'll keep everything neat and easy to grab. Mount your organizer on an outdoor wall beside your potting bench, or even along your porch railing. And don't forget to personalize it. Add a nameplate, a little painted flower, or a quote like, "Digging brings peace." The beauty of this setup is its simplicity. No need to haul around a heavy garden caddy or forget where you left your gloves. Everything has a place, and every place brings you a little more ease. Because aging gracefully isn't about doing less. It's about doing things more wisely with comfort and care for yourself. Your garden tools don't have to live in the garage. They can live right beside you, right where the joy happens. And you, dear friend, deserve that kind of convenience and beauty every day. There's something about a handwritten welcome sign that makes a porch feel like home. Not just a house, but a place where someone has prepared joyfully for your arrival. A space where the seasons are noticed, where love is felt in the little details. And the best part, you can craft your own changing welcome signs with Dollar Tree supplies, beautifully personal and refreshingly easy. Start with a wooden board or sign blank from the craft aisle. You can also repurpose an old cutting board or thrifted tray. Paint it in a soft base color, creamy white, pastel, sage, warm gray. Once dry, use stencils or freehand if you like to add a greeting, "Hello sunshine garden friends, welcome," or simply, "Home sweet home." If painting feels intimidating, Dollar Tree has peel and stick letters or chalkboard paint for easy to change messages. With chalk markers, you can update your message weekly. Happy Spring Pumpkin Patch Porch or Peaceful Christmas. Want to make it even more special? Add embellishments like faux flowers, painted vines, tiny wooden butterflies, or seasonal decals. Hot glue a bow at the top, or hang the whole thing with a loop of rope or ribbon. Mount your sign on your front door, lean it beside a pot of flowers, or hang it under your porch light where everyone can see it. The joy of this project is how flexible it is. You can make one sign and repaint it each season, or create a small collection to rotate throughout the year. Tuck them behind a bench or in a storage basket when not in use. Each time you change your sign, it becomes a little ritual, a way of saying, time is passing and I'm still here. Still creating, still caring. Because beauty in a home doesn't come from perfection, it comes from presence. And your presence, dear friend, is more welcoming than any sign could ever say. There's something deeply comforting about stepping out onto your porch and gently snipping a bit of rosemary or basil for dinner. Herbs are like old friends, reliable, fragrant, and always willing to add something special to your day. But in those early growing weeks when every green sprout looks the same, it's easy to forget which pot holds what. That's where a little creativity comes in. With just a few smooth stones or wooden craft sticks from Dollar Tree, you can create charming herb labels that are both practical and full of personality. Let's start with the wooden sticks, those flat craft sticks you may remember from school projects. Paint them in soft garden shades like sage green lavender or sky blue. Once dry, use a permanent marker or waterproof pen to write each herb's name, thyme, mint, chives, dill. If you're feeling extra fancy, use vinyl lettering or a white paint pen for a crisp finish. Prefer a more natural look. Gather river stones from the floral or garden section. Choose ones with a smooth surface and paint the name of each herb right onto the stone. You can add little leaf designs or tiny vines for charm, then seal them with a clear waterproof spray to protect from weather. Place the labeled sticks or stones directly in the pots or lean them gently against each planter. It adds a finished touch and helps visiting grandchildren learn the names too. In fact, make it a memory. Invite a grandchild or neighbor over to help paint the markers. Let them choose colors, decorate with dots or hearts, and write the names in their own handwriting. Suddenly, your herb garden isn't just organized, it's personal. And when you pick that sprig of oregano later, you'll smile, not just because your food will taste better, but because you made something beautiful, something lasting. Because in your garden, dear friend, even the labels tell a story. And you're still the storyteller. Sometimes it's the tiniest touches that bring a garden to life, a pop of color, a whimsical shape, a glint of sunlight catching on something unexpected. That's the quiet joy of garden stakes. And with Dollar Tree's beautiful one-finder options, you can add that charm without spending much at all. These aren't just stakes for function, they're little pieces of outdoor art. From butterflies and birds to pink flamingos, golden suns, and pastel dragonflies, these cheerful decorations can turn even the simplest container into a storybook scene. Place one in a pot where flowers haven't quite bloomed yet. Add a few to guide the eye through a row of planters. Or group 3 together in a large whiskey barrel planter to create a layered whimsical focal point. Remember, odd numbers tend to look more balanced and natural in design. Many of these stakes are made with lightweight metal, plastic, or wood and can be easily customized. Want a more cottage feel? Dry brush them with white or soft gray paint. Prefer something bolder? Add glitter ribbon or a coat of bright spray paint to match your porch theme. And don't be afraid to get creative. Attach small name tags to label your herbs or glue faux butterflies onto plain stakes for a magical fluttering effect. For holidays, switch them out hearts in February, stars in July, pumpkins in the fall. The best part, you can place them at shoulder or eye level in raised pots and vertical gardens, meaning no bending required. Just a simple pop of joy right where you need it. Because sometimes, joy really does come on a stick with wings, a flower, or a smiling face. And every time you see it, it gently reminds you, beauty doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes it's just playful. Sometimes it's lighthearted. And always it's yours to create. Let's talk about one of life's little luxuries, a place to set your morning cup of tea, a book, or even a small bouquet picked fresh from the porch rail. A side table may seem like a small thing, but oh, how it changes the way we use and enjoy a space. And here's the secret: with just a couple of wire baskets, some nautical rope, and a Dollar Tree pizza pan, you can craft your very own elegant porch table, stylish, sturdy, and under $10. Here's how to begin. Take 2 matching wire waste baskets and flip them upside down. Place one on top of the other, bottom to bottom, and secure them with strong glue, zip ties, or floral wire. You now have a tall, hourglass-shaped base, lightweight but stable. Wrap the entire structure with nautical rope, gluing as you go. This not only adds strength, but gives it that beautiful textured coastal charm. The rope covers any sharp edges or wire seams and gives the piece a polished, high-end look. Now paint a Dollar Tree pizza pan in your favorite color, matte black for a modern porch, soft coral for a summer vibe, or sage green for that classic garden feel. Once dry, glue the pan to the top of your rope-wrapped stand. Let everything cure overnight. And just like that, you have a beautiful custom-built table for your outdoor space. Set it beside a chair and add a plant, or use it between two rockers for afternoon refreshments. It's the kind of piece that quietly says this space was made for comfort. You didn't buy it from a catalog. You didn't lift anything heavy. You simply reimagined everyday pieces into something that serves you with both form and function. Because your hands still make beauty, and your porch still deserves little tables to hold your joy. Do you remember setting the table for special occasions? Maybe with grandma's embroidered cloth napkins or those old ceramic salt shakers shaped like ducks. Even the smallest details, napkin rings, folded linens, a sprig of rosemary, somehow made the meal feel more meaningful. Well, you don't need silverware passed down through generations to bring that same grace to your porch table today. With just a few craft supplies from Dollar Tree, you can make handmade napkin rings that turn even a simple outdoor sandwich into something elegant. Start with wooden rings from the craft section or use shower curtain rings as a clever alternative. Wrap each one with raffia jute or ribbon, whatever matches your porch's palette. Then, using hot glue, add little details, a faux flower, a dried orange slice, a tiny shell, or even a sprig of lavender from your garden. Want a patriotic summer table? Try red, white, and blue ribbon with a tiny flag attached. For autumn, wrap in twine and glue on a mini pine cone or silk leaf. You can create different sets for every season or mix and match for a cozy, collected look. Once complete, simply roll your napkins and slip them through. Even paper napkins feel dignified when nestled in something handmade. Store your napkin rings in a small woven basket or box on your porch shelf. They take up hardly any room, but they add so much warmth to gatherings. Because what we're really doing here isn't decorating, it's creating space. Space for conversation, for laughter, for quiet moments with those we love. And when your friend lifts that napkin to their lap and smiles, they'll feel it that you thought of them. That you made something simple just for the sake of joy. And friend, that kind of care, it makes every meal, every moment feel like a gift. Do you have a plant you just adore? One that makes you smile every time you pass it, a bright geranium, a trailing pothos, or that one fern that just refuses to quit? Well, today we're not just placing it, we're honoring it. With a simple flip and a touch of gold, you can turn Dollar Tree's wire baskets into elegant plant pedestals that raise your favorite blooms to their rightful place front and center. Start by picking up a few of those lightweight gold or black wire baskets from the home or storage aisle. Flip them upside down, yes, just that, and you suddenly have a perfect little stand. No tools, no glue, just a change in how you see something. For extra polish, you can stack two baskets together, securing with a bit of clear packing tape or hot glue. This adds height and creates a tiered effect if you want to show off more than one plant. Then simply set your potted plant on top. It could be a plastic pot, a clay one, or even a painted container you've decorated yourself. The pedestal lifts the plant, giving it presence and visibility, ideal for creating depth in your porch design or for spotlighting a particularly pretty bloom. The gold wire adds a hint of glam without being too fussy. It catches the light and complements both modern and rustic decor. And best of all, these pedestals are featherlight and easy to move, perfect for those of us who like to rearrange our space with the seasons, or on a whim. Because sometimes the best way to appreciate something is to simply raise it up, to give it a little stage, a little spotlight, and say, you matter, you belong. Look how you shine. And isn't that the story of aging gracefully, still growing, still blooming, still worthy of standing tall? There's something undeniably calming about water, whether it's a still pond, a gentle fountain, or just the way sunlight reflects off a bowl of clear liquid. It soothes the soul, quiets the mind, and invites you to pause. Today's idea captures that peace in a single cake pan. Yes, really, a simple Dollar Tree cake pan or shallow bowl is all you need to create a floating flower display that turns any corner of your porch into a tranquil retreat. Start by filling your chosen pan with clean water. Then add a few blossoms, fresh flowers from your garden, or high-quality artificial blooms if you'd rather keep it low maintenance. Roses, daisies, camellias, or even a few soft hydrangea petals all look lovely when floating gently on the surface. To weigh the display and give it texture, you can add a handful of smooth pebbles or glass gems to the bottom. These help hold things steady and shimmer softly beneath the water. For special occasions or just when you want a little extra magic, add a drop of food coloring to the water to match the season. Light pink in spring, soft blue in summer, golden orange in fall. And in the evenings, float a battery-operated tea light in the center. One small glow surrounded by petals becomes a moment of candle-lit peace right on your porch. Place your display on a small table tucked beside your favorite chair, or even grouped with a few others at different heights for a mini water garden effect. The reflections, the stillness, the beauty. It all invites you to slow down and breathe. You don't need a fountain, you don't need a pond, you just need a quiet bowl, a few petals, and a moment of stillness. Because peace doesn't come in grand gestures, it arrives gently. And you, dear friend, are allowed to create it every single day. Succulents are the quiet heroes of the garden, sturdy, graceful, and patient. They don't demand attention, yet they offer such beauty in return. And for those of us who want greenery without the daily tending, they're the perfect companion. With just a few small containers from Dollar Tree and a gentle hand, you can create your own succulent garden, one that thrives in sunlight and simplicity and brings lasting charm to your porch or patio. Start by gathering a few of Dollar Tree's smaller planters or bowls. Look for unusual shapes. Ceramic dishes, metal tins, even tiny pails. Add small rocks or bits of gravel to the bottom for drainage. Then fill with cactus soil or potting mix blended with sand. Choose succulents in a mix of colors and textures. Think blue echeveria, fuzzy panda plant spiky haworthia, or the ever-loyal jade. You can use live succulents if you enjoy tending to them, or high-quality faux succulents for a completely maintenance-free option. Arrange them in layers, taller ones in back-trailing varieties to spill gently over the edges. Tuck in decorative stone shells or moss between plants for a finished artistic look. Place your finished garden in a sunny spot where it can shine on a small table in a window box, or lined up on your porch railing like a miniature gallery of living sculpture. The best part, these plants thrive on less. Less water, less fuss, less attention, and still they flourish. Just like you, my friend. Because in this season of life, we've learned that growth isn't always about doing more. It's about choosing what matters, tending gently, and allowing beauty to unfold in its own quiet way. So give yourself a garden that grows without pressure, one that lasts through heat change and time, and let it remind you every day. Grace lives in the things that last. There's something timeless about terracotta pots, their earthy orange tones, their classic shape, the way they feel cool and sturdy in your hands. But sometimes a fresh coat of color is all it takes to turn plain into personal, and Dollar Tree's simple paints make that transformation not only possible but joyful. With just a few strokes of a brush, those humble pots can become works of art, tailored to your style, your season, and your spirit. Start with basic terracotta pots, new or old, it doesn't matter. Wipe them clean, then choose your color palette. Soft blues for a coastal feel sage, greens for cottage charm, or pastel pinks and yellows for a springtime touch. Dollar Tree's acrylic paints work beautifully, and a little goes a long way. Use painter's tape to create clean lines, stripes, or geometric patterns. For a rustic look, try dry brushing with a sponge, just a dab of paint here and there, leaving the natural clay peeking through like aged stone. Feeling whimsical. Add polka dots, trailing vines, or even stencil a dragonfly or sunflower on the side. Let your imagination guide your brush. Once dry, seal your design with a clear acrylic spray to protect it from weather and watering. The result, a one-of-a-kind planter that holds not just flowers, but your creativity. These painted pots make lovely gifts too, perhaps planted with herbs for a neighbor or arranged on your porch steps in a rainbow of gentle tones. Line them along a window ledge, cluster them in groups of 3, or mix and match for an eclectic garden gallery. And here's the quiet truth, this isn't just a craft. It's a small act of joy, a way of saying, this is my space, and I still love to create. Because age doesn't dull creativity, it deepens it. And these pots, like you, are proof that with just a little care, the same vessel can hold beauty again and again. Have you ever visited a seaside cottage where everything felt calm and textured worn wood, woven baskets, the soft scent of salt and lavender in the air? Today's idea brings a bit of that breezy coastal charm to your porch, using nothing more than a plain plastic pot, and a roll of rope from Dollar Tree. This transformation is simple, soothing, and stunning, turning a basic planter into something that looks like it came straight from an upscale coastal boutique. Start with any lightweight planter. Plastic works best, especially those round or gently tapered shapes. Choose a roll of nautical rope, jute, or sisal from Dollar Tree's craft or garden section. Then, beginning at the bottom of the pot, start wrapping the rope tightly in rows, securing every few inches with hot glue as you go. Continue spiraling your way up the pot, keeping the rope snug and even. When you reach the top, tuck the end neatly under a previous row and secure with a final dab of glue. The result: a beautiful rope-wrapped planter with texture, warmth, and a handcrafted feel. You can leave it natural for a relaxed, beachy look, or paint the bottom half for a color-blocked design. Soft white, dusty blue, or muted coral all work wonderfully. These planters pair beautifully with ferns, lavender, or ornamental grasses. Line them up along your porch steps, or use them in a cozy corner with a chair and throw pillow for a little escape space of your own. The rope doesn't just look beautiful, it adds insulation, protecting your plant roots from sudden temperature swings. It also hides scuffs and gives older containers new life. Because sometimes all something needs is a gentle wrap, to be seen differently, to feel whole again. And maybe, friend, we're the same way. A bit of softness, a few loops of care, and suddenly we're not worn out, we're wrapped in wisdom. Have you ever stood in a little garden corner and wished it could stretch just a bit wider? Maybe you've glanced at your porch and thought, if only there were more light, more openness, more room to breathe. Sometimes the solution isn't adding more, it's simply reflecting what you already have. And that's where mirror magic comes in. With just a few framed mirrors from Dollar Tree, you can transform a small patio or porch into a space that feels bigger, brighter, and infinitely more charming. And it's all done with a touch of creativity and not a single, heavy tool. Start by choosing lightweight mirrors, rectangle or square, and decide where they'll reflect the most light. Mount them on a fence, lean them against the wall behind your planters, or hang them vertically along your porch posts. You can use removable adhesive hooks, zip ties, or even garden wire if you're hanging them against lattice or wood. Now here's the secret: place them where they reflect beauty. A pot of cheerful zinnias, a string of fairy lights, a climbing vine weaving its way up a trellis. The mirror doesn't just bounce light, it doubles the joy. Want a more finished look? Frame the mirrors in painted wood, wrap the edges in twine, or surround them with faux greenery for a window-like effect. For a touch of whimsy, group several small mirrors in a cluster like a gallery wall for your outdoor haven. Suddenly, your tiny porch feels like it opens into another garden. Light dances, shadows shift, the space breathes. It's a gentle reminder that what we have is often enough if we look at it the right way. Because sometimes all we need is a reflection, a different angle, a quiet reminder that beauty surrounds us and we're a part of it. And dear friend, that mirror doesn't just reflect your flowers. It reflects your creativity, your care, your light. There's a special kind of peace that comes from settling into a favorite chair, one that's been softened with time, perhaps near the hum of bees and the scent of mint drifting up from the garden below. But even the coziest seat becomes more inviting with a cushion. And even better when that cushion reflects the changing seasons. With a few simple supplies from Dollar Tree, you can refresh your outdoor cushions as often as the weather shifts, all without sewing, lifting, or spending a fortune. Start with basic outdoor cushions or foam inserts. If you already have some wonderful, if not Dollar Tree, occasionally stocks small cushions, or you can use old bed pillows protected with plastic liners. Then choose fabric from their crafting aisle, or repurpose kitchen towels, scarves, or even bandanas. Wrap the cushion like a present, folding the fabric snugly around and securing with safety pins, Velcro strips, or fabric glue. For weather resistance, add a layer of clear shower curtain liner beneath the fabric, or wrap the cushion in plastic and cover it with a cloth like a slipcover. You get the beauty without risking soggy padding. Select colors and patterns that echo the time of year: lemons or gingham for summer, muted earth tones for fall, snowflakes or flannel for winter, and florals or pastels in spring. Tuck a few matching throws or add a small decorative pillow to complete the corner. You don't need to redo everything, just one refreshed cushion can make a space feel renewed. And because they're easy to switch out, You can update them whenever inspiration or the weather strikes. This project isn't just about softness under your seat. It's about softness in your life. Because comfort isn't a luxury. It's a kindness. And you deserve to sit in beauty, to rest in spaces you've made lovely with your own hands. So fluff that cushion, sink into your chair, and let the seasons change around you, knowing your little corner of the world is already blooming. There's something about twinkling lights that brings out the dreamer in all of us. They don't shout, they don't hurry. They simply glow softly, patiently, inviting us to pause to breathe, to stay a little longer on the porch as evening falls. And with one strand of warm white string lights from Dollar Tree, you can transform your garden space into a sanctuary of quiet joy. These aren't the holiday lights we store away for December. These are soft, steady lights made for every season, for slow summer nights, for golden autumn twilights, for those moments when the garden feels less like a project and more like a prayer. Start by choosing where you'd like the lights to glow. Drape them along a porch railing, across the top of a trellis, or weave them through the beams of a pergola. Use small clear hooks or even twist ties to gently fasten the wire in place. If your porch is shaded or covered, choose battery-operated options and hide the power pack inside a small basket or decorative box. For a little extra magic, intertwine the lights with faux ivy or silk flowers, or tuck them into mason jars or glass lanterns to create glowing pools of light along your steps or tabletop. You don't need to light the whole world, just a corner of it. A small space where your evening tea tastes sweeter, where the breeze feels like a song, where everything just for a moment feels enough. And here's the tender truth: light always finds its way. Even when we're tired, even when the day feels long, even when we think we've lost our sparkle. So string those lights, watch them glow, and remember, you still shine too. Because your garden is not just a place of growth, it's a place of light. And you, dear friend, are its keeper. Well, my dear friend, what a beautiful journey we've taken together today. From a simple stackable planter to twinkling lights that glow like stars, we've explored 32 ways to transform your porch and patio into something more than just a space. It becomes a story, a sanctuary, a reflection of you. And here's the truth at the heart of all this: none of these ideas required perfection. None required a big budget or a young body. They just needed your imagination, your hands, your heart. Every project we shared, each rope-wrapped pot, each handmade lantern, each flower gently floated in water, was a quiet act of care, an offering, a reminder that creativity doesn't fade with age. In fact, it deepens, it softens, it becomes more intentional, more soulful. You're not decorating to impress the world. You're creating to nourish yourself, to make space for peace, for joy, for memories yet to be made. Whether you try just one of these ideas or find yourself crafting all 32, know this: every small act of beauty you create makes the world gentler, kinder, and more welcoming. Because your hands still create beauty, your presence still brings light. And your home, your little patch of porch or garden or windowsill, is still a place where wonder lives. So tell me, dear one, which idea sparked your joy today? Was it the glowing garden globes, the Jenga block lanterns, the floating flowers? Leave a note in the comments and share your favorite. Let's inspire each other like neighbors swapping stories over the fence. And if you haven't yet, I'd be honored if you joined this gentle community by clicking subscribe and ringing the bell. We're here every week, crafting beauty on a budget, one soft idea at a time. Until next time, may your flowers bloom, may your lights twinkle, and may you always feel proud of the home you're creating. Happy gardening, my dear friend. I'll see you again very soon.